Alright guys, today for Integrated Math 1, we're going to be writing linear equations given 2 coordinate points. Now in the past, we were given 2 coordinate points and I asked you guys to find the slope, just the slope. But now we're going to be using the slope formula along with the point slope formula to create a linear equation given just 2 coordinate points. So the first step is we're going to use the slope formula to find the slope of the given 2 coordinate points. Using that slope, we're going to use the slope and we're going to use the point slope formula using any one of the coordinate points to generate a linear equation. For example 1, we're going to write the equation of the line that passes through the coordinate points -3, 7 and 1, -1. So what I like doing first is when I have my 2 coordinate points, I like to label them x1, y1, x2, and y2. Now it doesn't matter what coordinate point you call those, as long as you're consistent. So for example, this first coordinate point, this -3 is going to be x1, 7 is going to be y1, my other coordinate point is going to be x2, and -1 is going to be y2. Step 1, we want to use the slope formula to find my slope given these 2 coordinate points. Because for my next step, I'm going to be using point slope formula. Point slope formula requires 2 things, a coordinate point and a slope. So far we have a coordinate point, but we don't have a slope. That's where step 1 comes in. So the slope is going to be y2 minus y1. So my y2 is going to be -1 minus y1 is 7. y2 minus y1. On the bottom, it's going to be x2, 1 minus x1. Be careful of that double negative. Double negative makes it positive. -1 minus 7 is -8. 1 plus 3 is 4. When I write this as a simplified fraction, my slope is going to be -2. I have my slope, and I have a coordinate point. I can choose either or. I'm going to pick the second coordinate point, 1, -1, because when I do my substitutions into the point slope formula, they're nice easy numbers, so it'll be less work. So y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Y minus y1, my y1 is 7. Now just because it says y1 and x1 doesn't mean you have to use x1 and y1. You can use your second coordinate point or your first coordinate points. So for y1, I'm going to pick my y value from the second coordinate points, -1 equals, we found our slope to be -2, parentheses x minus x1. I'm going to pick the x coordinate from the second coordinate point. Remember, you can pick either the x or y from the first or second coordinate point, it doesn't matter. X minus x1 is 1. Right here I have a double negative, so I have y plus 1 equals -2x minus 1. Distribute the 2, and I get y equals 2x times -2. Positive 2. Subtract 1, and I get y equals -2x plus 1. Alright, our second example, we want to write the equation of a line that passes through the points -6, -7, and 3, -4. So just as always, I'm going to label my x1, y1, x2, y2. So I have x1, y1, x2, and y2. This is going to help me find my slope formula when I substitute those x and y values into the slope formula. So step 1. We want to generate an equation given 2 coordinate points. The point slope formula requires the slope and 1 coordinate point. So far we only have 2 coordinate points, but we don't have a slope. That's where step 1 comes in. We want to use the slope formula using those 2 coordinate points to find the slope. So I'm going to substitute in my x and y values into the slope formula. So I get m equals y2 is -4 minus y1 is -7 Be careful of those double negatives. X sub 2 is 3, minus x sub 1 is negative 6. Be careful of your double negatives. So here I have negative 4 plus 7 is 3. 3 plus 6 is 9. I want to simplify this fraction. The numerator and denominator are both divisible by 3. So that's going to be 1/3. So I'm going to have a slope of 1/3. Now that I know my slope, I'm going to use one coordinate point and the slope to generate my equation using the point slope formula. I'm going to go ahead and pick the first coordinate points, x sub 1 and y sub 1, to substitute into the point slope formula along with my slope. So I'm going to have y minus y sub 1, my y sub 1 is negative 7, equals, my m is 1/3, that's my slope, times the quantity x minus x sub 1. X sub 1 is negative 6. Be careful of your double negatives. So I have y plus 7 equals 1/3 times the quantity x plus 6. Next, I'm going to distribute the 1/3 into each term in the set of parentheses. So I'm going to have y plus 7 equals 1/3 x. 1/3 times 6 is going to give me 2. Next, I want to get y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 7 on both sides, and I get y is equal to 1/3 x minus 5. So what we did right here is we wrote a linear equation just by given two coordinate points. What we did first is using these two coordinate points, we found the slope. And then using the point slope formula, we used the slope and any coordinate point, plugged it into the point slope formula, did a little math, and now we have our linear equation.